Gamers, we are back with Digimon World Dawn Randomized Part 7? Maybe? Let's get back to it. I don't remember who has a quest for me. It's not you. Okay. I do think we've hit a point where I think, and I'm not sure, so don't hold me to this, but I think, perhaps maybe, there's a slight chance that if you kind of take it into consideration and you just kind of think about it for a little while, that perhaps maybe we find ourselves being such a dickhead. I think this is the furthest I've ever been in Digimon World Dawn, even on my own time. I think. If you go back and look at older videos and I've gone further, then I just forgot, so leave me alone. I'm so sorry for that bit. I don't know how long I went on for, but it felt like at least, I don't know, 10 minutes? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? Why did I keep saying 10 minutes? Shine Square, okay. Yeah. Sorry, it made me laugh. We're back. I do think this is the run. And I mean that in the sense of I think I'm finally going to finish this game. Which is I'm pretty stoked about, not because I'm like, wow, I finally get to see what happens. Also, I saw what area I need to go to and then forgot to check which area is which. Not excited because I'm like, oh my god, I finally get to see what happens between Lightfang and Nightcrow. I'm so excited. No, because I'm excited because I can finally like cross it off the list and just be like, oh yeah, I've played it. Hello, I need your help. I work at a dig in Task Canyon. I'm injured and I can't go. They said they found something, so you please go to Task Canyon for me and join the dig. They'll be waiting. Not excited because I'm like, wow, I need to know what happens in the story. I'm excited to specifically be like, I can finally say with definitive certainty how I feel about the game because I will have gone through the game. I am a person who, for the most part, believes you can't really critique a game unless you've given it a real good, solid try. Preferably beat it, but like if you get like, I would say if you get 10 hours into a game, like you can probably talk about it. You can, with the caveat of being like, I never finished it, but like I played up until this point and I got sick of it, which is valid and fine. But I do think like for a self-described Digimon gaming YouTuber, I should probably have beaten every single Digimon game. Now, do I think I need to do that? No. Do I think it makes me way more of an authority on things and therefore better? Yes. And that's really what it's all about. It's just making myself look better. So you understand the situation that I'm in. It'll be very nice to cross this off. I think the only other games I haven't beaten at this point, I think it would have to be, I mean, Digimon Adventure for PSP, I've been slowly working through. I'm like, I would say I'm pretty far into that one. Probably like 2/3 through. But I just take big breaks from it because, I don't know. It falls in another category of, I think it would be Gorgon. Okay. It falls in the category of, I think if I was playing on my own, I easily would have beaten it. And maybe I would have put it down for a little bit, but come back to it and finish it. But because I'm recording for it, it's just taking so much longer. Because, I don't know. Also, they don't really get as many views for some reason. I can't believe they called it Creepymon. I hate it. I hate it here. Yeah, it just doesn't do as well as some of the other Digimon games I do, so like my incentive to play it is lower. Because I'm kind of the mind where I'm like, well, you know, only a couple diehards are really like, really want to see this. And it's also one of those series where no one ever asks me to go back to it. I, like, occasionally. I would say Under is pretty much the only one, and Under will basically just be like, when are you going back to this? And I'll be like, I don't know. And I'll be like, okay, that's fair. So I feel bad about it, but like also, like, I don't know, if other videos are doing better, I should stick with those. Are you Grudemon's replacement? I see. Then take a look at this. This is the ancient box we just found, but it's locked and we can't open it. Will you go find the key that opens this box? It should be somewhere in Task Canyon. Okay. But yeah, I'll be happy to finish this one, is really where I'm getting at. Because, I mean, I like Digimon a lot. I would fucking hope so. But like at this point, I would hope so. But I don't know. The quality of games varies greatly, and this is not a personal attack on anyone. And if you take it as a personal attack, that's a you thing. I'm very clearly, explicitly saying it's not a personal attack. But I think some people in the Digimon video game community specifically gas Digimon games that are pretty average. And on the opposite side, I think people trash Digimon games that are pretty solid. And I think they call them like absolute fucking failures and stuff, when I'm like, they're fine. What do you mean? Like, I think my opinion of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, the original, not Hacker's Memory, is that it's a solid 7.5. I think as a Digimon fan, I enjoyed it more. But I also think the game's story is kind of all over the place. Localization isn't as good as Hacker's Memory, where it's just like it seems like sanded down a little bit, or almost more bland. Shakamon, why are you here? I guess I'll talk to you. Oh, I'm still sleepy. Who is that woke me? I know it's you. You're gonna pay. Oh, okay. Ooh, are you a big boy? Are you taking up 3 spaces? You fucking fool. He doesn't know. He doesn't even fucking know. You make sure I have MP. That'd be a nice start. Yeah, I think Cyber Sleuth is a very solid 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it's like the greatest Digimon ever made. I would even put it like in a lower tier. But also, people who are like, it's unplayable or it's bad, I'm like, or it's like worse than the DS games, I'm like, you're on crack. Pure and simple. You are on crack. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, it is definitely better than the DS games. Okay, so you are only 1 space. Also, you have very high defense. Are you like an optional boss? What am I doing here? I don't understand what's going on here. Potentially bold move here. I'm gonna try to put it to sleep. Okay, well that didn't work, so I feel bad now. Is that what you wanted, Shakamon? Metal Star. Okay. I was curious, because I was like, it's doing a lot of damage. I remember in Lost Evolution, there were some Digimon that were just kind of like chilling out in the wilds, and if you fought them, they were like super, super strong, but you get like good rewards, and they'd like unlock shit and stuff for you, so I wasn't sure if that was what was happening here. But yeah, I think Digimon, Cyber Sleuth is very, like, it's good enough. As the first Digimon game we got in the West in like 10 years at that point, I think it perfectly serves its purpose of just being here's a Digimon game. So I think the people who say it's or it's like really, really bad are wrong. I think the people who say it's really, really good are also wrong. I think it's squarely in the middle. Hacker's Memory, on the other hand, is complicated. I like Hacker's Memory a lot. It's probably my second favorite Digimon game. But I think it's so good because of the knowledge of the story I have from Cyber Sleuth, which I like, so it's hard for me to recommend it to people like by itself. It's probably still fine by itself, like if you play it first, but it's hard for me to recommend it. And but I do really like it. It does feel like it's a very good payoff if you played Cyber Sleuth. Oh gosh, I'm grumpy when I wake up, so I get a little angry. Sorry about that. Are you looking for something? I think I might have seen a treasure chest further down. Oh, okay. Thanks, I guess. But basically, Cyber Sleuth is kind of the, what's the word for it? It's kind of the imprint, or the blueprint for that. So I feel like you can expand that out, and you'll kind of have your person. Like, if they're a person, does that take me back, or is that a new area? That doesn't look like the normal gate. Yeah, that's the normal gate. So what the fuck is this? Let's go here first. So I think if you're the kind of person who's like, I think Cyber Sleuth is shit, then you're probably, you know, a Digimon World 3 stan, and they've never made a better Digimon game to you than Digimon World 3. And it's more likely that you can't really grapple with the fact that you probably like Digimon World 3 so much because you played it as a kid, and things are better for you when you were a kid, and you just haven't really reconciled with that or really done any sort of introspection about why you think that things when you were younger were all better, but everything that's made today is bad. just off the cuff, you know. I don't know you. Could be either. I don't know. I don't know. And if you feel like that cuts deep, I don't know. Try some more of that introspection stuff. You might enjoy it. Just being so condescending. And then I think the other one and the other side of that, just to play fair, so I play it fair. The other side of that is you being like, oh my god, Cyber is so good, everyone needs to play it. And then you introduce it to people, it's like, it's a perfect entry to Digimon. And then they're like, oh, it was fine, I didn't really like it. And you're like, what do you mean? It was, I really like this. And then they're like, I don't know, it's a little intense for me. And then you end up turning them off Digimon instead because they're like, I don't want to deal with whatever's going on here. Light Wave. Reduce attack in 4 zones with waves away. I mean, sure, man. Instead of what? Light Tackle? Who? I'm gonna get rid of Black Coat. Raising Dark Resist is so specific. I just can't imagine eating it. So the other side of it is people scaring off people because they're like way too intense. And they're like, you know, you're polishing like polishing some bronze, and I'm like, you can polish it as well as you want. It's still bronze at the end of the day. Bronze can look really good. It's not gold. It's not platinum. It's not diamond. Like, you gotta relax. I had to stop myself from saying polishing a turd because I'm like, it's not a turd. I had to reform the metaphor in my head as I was saying it. So I don't know. Just be more open-minded to pretty much everything, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember your evolutions anymore. I don't remember what we were going for. Metal Tyrannomon, Mega Kobe Tyrannomon. Yeah, we're probably going for Metal Tyrannomon. I think it'd be pretty cool to get to Zanbamon. But I wouldn't scoff at Lilithmon either. Okay, so I just need to go 37. Okay. And then you, 39. You probably need to be like 50 or something. For Mega Gargomon, huh? Level 65. Hold on. Level 65? Yikes. So you can just go backwards, I guess. I don't know. I made a mistake. I think I wanted to do one of these? Question mark. Maybe Megatramon is the best one. Maybe I have enough bird experience by now. Yeah, we'll go backwards. Yeah. Nope. Wrong button. Oh, no, wait. Different emulator. When I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Nightmare Troubadour, L2 is the speed up button for some reason, because I couldn't map it to my normal button. Or no, because I have to hold it. So instead of using, like on RetroArch, which I'm using right now, it's a toggle. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's easy. But then I have to hold it for other games, or for Melon DS. Anyway, kind of on the topic of, you know, try being more open-minded. There's no easy way to... Ooh, silver plate. I don't think that's right. There's no easy way to transition to this, so I'm just going to kind of ease into it. We're going to see what happens, okay? Do you think... What's a better way to say this? I'm trying to say this in a way that it comes off as curiosity and supportiveness. So I hope it's taken that way. I wonder if Digimon has a higher percentage of helping people find out that they're trans than other series. I'm not going to hold you on a pause there. I want to keep talking so that you understand what I mean. Digimon is all about kind of scrungly looking guys turning into beautiful humans. I would say like the first and most obvious example is you have a cat that turns into a scantily clad beautiful woman, an Angelmon. And to add to that, Digimon from the very first episode is very, 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 very good at using correct names. like when Koromon turns to Agumon, everyone switches to calling it Agumon. When Agumon turns to Greymon, everyone switches to calling it Greymon. I think that shit rocks. It's like, oh, you're called this now? Okay. No fuss. No, it's just, you just call them it. It's fine. And there's usually like a first, the first time the human partner or whoever will be like, there's the scene from the first movie where Tai goes like, Koromon? He goes, I'm Greymon now. It's like, you can be whoever you want to be, big guy. Like, it's fine, that's fine. And I think that's beautiful. But I kind of wanted to, so first of all, I'm just curious if it has a higher rate than other shows. And I'm not curious. I know the answer is yes. It was a leading question. I knew the answer already. It has to be yes. Like, there's just no other way. And, but I kind of, this is going to sound a little self-important, so please disregard it if I come off sounding a little narcissistic or like an asshole. But I am putting myself out there publicly. Like, I am, my recordings do go to the internet, and almost in a sense of, there's almost still a sense of anonymity, because it's like, yeah, I throw my stuff out there, but like, who the fuck's watching? It doesn't matter. It's almost like throwing into the void because YouTube is just so overpopulated. So it's not like the same thing. But if we pretend that it is for a moment, the world is getting a little spooky, is to put it in the most underestimated like way possible. And I want people who watch me to feel comfortable and to not feel scared or like I might just be like a hidden monster or something. So to be very clear and to make it very openly, we support trans rights here. We support LGBTQ plus everyone here, because it's a very simple philosophy of let people live their fucking lives, man. I don't care. Like, it doesn't affect me. I'm living my own life. Like, I don't, like, why do I let people be happy? And I think that some people are probably, so here's where I started on this today. I was thinking about how in my lifetime I watched gay rights go from the butt of the joke and derided and basically just like a free pass to spew hate and stuff like that, like in my lifetime. Like, you know, as a kid I would just call stuff gay and I'd just be like, that's gay. And the subtext would be, that's like something I don't like or that's bad. And then, you know, I started growing up. I had a friend who asked me, you know, why is that gay? And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I've just always said it's that. And it's like, yeah, but like, what about it? Is it like, is it homoerotic? Something like that? I'm like, no. It's like, oh, so you're just saying it's bad. I'm like, I mean, I get, and then, you know, the same thing I'm saying now. It's like, so you're saying gay is bad? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't really have any problems with gay people. And it's like, well, then why are you saying that? It's like, it's a good point. And you know, there's a learning period. It takes a little time to stop saying it. But you like, eventually, I'm just like, well, I don't need to say it. Like, there are other words I can use instead, and the wonderful, colorful vocabulary. That is the English language. Like, there's so many options. So I'm like, all right, just no skin off my back. It's fine. And so, like, I understand the period of, like, switching up your thing, but I'm like, the people who, like, argue for this stuff, who, like, argue for, like, free speech, I'm like, you can say whatever you want, but, like, you know, legally you won't be punished, but you can be societally punished. Like, people can just be like, I don't like what you said. And you have to reconcile with that. You're either going to say, like, well, I don't want to change who I am, and not... you know, and then just like stick with it, and then maybe some people don't talk to you anymore. That's a consequence. Your actions have consequences. Welcome to the planet Earth. Welcome to society. But it's been crazy because I'm like, I remember like, I think it was like 2012 that like gay marriage was legalized in the US. Like, that was like 13 years ago. That's insane. Like, because looking back on it, I'm like, why the fuck did it take so long? Like, A, who gives a shit? Like, again, my philosophy has not changed. I'm like, I don't care. Like, they should, yeah. Like, just let them be happy. Like, why was this ever an issue? And then I look at trans issues today and how, you know, there's a subsection of the population that seem to just like really, really hate trans people. And I'm like, why? I don't get it. Like, fundamentally don't understand it. And I'm like, this is the part where I'm like, please, I am an ally. We're gonna get into some weird territory here, but trust me when I'm trying to say this. But I'm like, if it's something that's like you are uncomfortable with it because you haven't experienced it and it seems different to you, that's not a reason to, like, you know, discount something. That's stupid. Like, if it's something that, like, makes you uncomfortable, why? Like, look into yourself and think, like, why? Is it just because it's different? Is it because you don't know anyone who's trans? Like, you know, figure it out. Get to the core of it. Again, we're going back to introspection. Why do you feel that way? And then just kind of confront yourself on it. I'm like, well, I guess I should start changing my views or something like that. Or just, you know, empathy. If you can watch a TV show, like if you can watch Digimon, or if you can play a game in Digimon, and you can, like, relate to the characters, like, you care about what happens to them, like, you're like, oh man, I hope they get out of this jam, like, or it's like, oh, this is a rough episode, or wow, I really felt for that character in this episode. I'm like, you can feel it for fictional characters. Why can't you feel it for humans? Like, why can't you feel it for real people? I'm like, when I think of trans people, my heart aches. I'm like, this shit's getting rough out here. And I'm like, why? For no reason. Just, like, it's seemingly just to, like, go back to, like, starting with gay rights. And it's like, it just seems like there's a certain subsect of the population where it's like, they have to, like, determine that someone is beneath them or not as important as them. Or they can't function. And I'm like, why? That's so crazy. Like, just, like, I don't know, quit being a dick. Like, just, it's so strange to me. I think, and then you get some smoke screens. Jumbo Gaming on, hello. You get some smoke screens. I'm going to bring up a very, very, very worn out topic. Some people don't understand why they feel uncomfortable. And what they will sometimes go to is a very popular talking point of, well, what if they're like a predator? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Because someone was born as a sex, and we're like, I think I'm actually the other sex. What on earth does that have to do with perversion, or to be like a predator or like a pervert or something like that? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. I don't follow the logic. It's like, and there's this very basic argument that I personally think is a critical thinking test, and I've seen a lot of people fail it, and people I thought were more intelligent, I've seen fail this critical thinking test, and I don't truly understand how. Well, we're gonna get to the bathroom situation in a second. I'll be back. What's that? It's an ancient key. Then let's go open the box right away. That's bright light. Wow, how wonderful. Digimon fossils. Something. Thank you. We were able to find something amazing. It's all because of you. Thank you. Hooray. If there's a talking point where it's like, what if they're just trying to say they're trans so that they can go, or they're trying to become trans so they can go into the other bathrooms, they can go into the other locker room and, you know, do crime. And I'm like, well, first of all, crime is still illegal. I don't know. I didn't think I would have to say that out loud, but crime is still illegal. Second, it's not a force field. It's not like a magic force field where you can only go into it the other bathroom if you like declare yourself first. It's a lot of them don't even have doors. You just walk right in. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then there's the other thing where I'm like, what about same-sex stuff? Like, if you're gay, is like, you know, you're getting you're like almost this belief where it's like they're getting away with something. They get to go like in there. I'm like, I don't know what you do in bathrooms or locker rooms. You know what I do in a locker room? I change, I shower in a stall, and then I leave. You know what I do in bathrooms? I shit, piss, or like wash my hands. Sometimes all three. Or like, you know, just like fix my like hair in the mirror or something. Like, not my hair. You understand, it's not my hair. Or like fix like my collar or my shirt or something in the mirror. It's like, I'm not going in there so I can be like, gonna see some dicks. No, man. Like, what are you talking about? You sound insane. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I go in there to do my business. If you think if someone changes genders, well, then they can get away with stuff in the bathrooms. Why did you immediately go to that? What does that say about you? That your first thought was like, well, now I can commit bathroom crimes. I'm like, A, no, it's still crime. And B, why was that where you went? Are you saying the only thing holding you back from committing those crimes is that you're the wrong gender? That's insane. Do you hear that? You hear that sounds? If you're wondering if this is a straw man argument, it's not. This is a real conversation I had with my uncle in 2019 or 2018. He had been talking about it, and I was like kind of losing my mind, where I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where till it finally got to the point where I like yelled at him, where I was like, what the fuck do you mean? It's not a force. I like said that. I was like, it's not a force field. If you're a predator, it's probably not going to stop you. Like you're probably going to do that stuff anyway, which is bad. And we should work to fix that in other ways. But I'm like, it's not, it has nothing to do with like your declared gender. You sound ridiculous. And like, it was a very tense, he was driving me back from my grandfather's, that was like an hour away. And we had this conversation like 10 minutes away from my house. And it was tense. Like, it was uncomfortable, and I didn't want to have it. I was like, I can't believe, like, I thought my uncle was smarter than this. And especially because, like, again, my grandfather is like a bleeding heart progressive, which is so fun in its own way. Because, like, I used to think of him as, like, a very intense, like, old... Because, like, all of my family, all the Zalis side, are giants. I am 6'2". I don't qualify that as a giant. My uncle is 6'4". I think my grandfather was 6'4". He might have shrunk a little bit in his old age. But like, so like I just saw him as like this kind of imposing man, and then like eventually talked to him like as an adult. Like I talked to him when I was in college. I like kind of caught up with him because I hadn't really spoken to him in a while, because the whole different things. You can go watch, I think it's Next Order Randomized part 15, I think is where we go into my whole family history. But anyway, but I was just like, so like to find out that my grandfather was like, oh, fucking Trump this, fucking Trump that, he fucking sucks, he's tearing apart our fucking democracy, or like that. I'm like, fuck yeah, grandpa, fight the power. Because you don't expect it. You expect your grandparents to be conservative. So then it's even funnier that his son is conservative. But I was like, so I had that conversation with my uncle. It was very tense. And again, this is in 2019. And I get back. He texts me a couple hours later, and he's like, hey, this is real. And I want to be clear. This is not fantasy. This is a real thing that he sent me. And I can tell you, you know how you know it's real? Because it wasn't enough for me. But we'll get to that. But he was basically like, I thought about what you said, and I think you're right. I don't think I'd really thought about what it meant. I think I was just scared. And it was, you're right. You don't suddenly just like get a free pass to like become like an adulterer or like a predator just because, you know, you go through that. Not to mention like years and years of like hormone therapy and like public facing like derision, because it's, again, it's like, it's not a great time. Like they're kind of a punching bag. And I say that like with all like my heart. I'm like, it's bad and it shouldn't be. But like, did you off to the wrong person? Or did you, I should have meant to, or should have went to Saberjamon, damn it. But he basically said, he was like, I hadn't thought about that. And you're right. I think I was being too harsh on them. And then, you know, again, it doesn't fix anything. Like, even after saying that, I was like, it's big of you to admit. And that, but I was still just like, you still pissed me the fuck off. Like, I wasn't like, oh, everything's sunshine and rainbows. I still don't really talk to him that much. But I was like, all right, you know, he did like actually introspect. So I'll give him a pass, I guess. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. And just like, it's fundamentally, it's just about empathy. Like, can you put yourself in this person's shoes? Like, and I think that's the like hard, like barrier for a lot of people, because I think when it was gay rights, it was, I cannot imagine liking another man. I cannot imagine liking another woman. But it's like, really? Is that so hard? That's crazy. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like more imaginative, but I'm just like, I can see it. I don't feel it. Like, but you know, I can see how someone can get there. And I'm like, I think this like even harder thing to wrap your head around with trans people, where it's like, I cannot imagine wanting to be the other gender. I'm like, I can't either, for what it's worth. I don't feel that at all. And I can't say this because this is bad. It's being a straight cis white guy. It's pretty, I'm playing life on easy mode. Okay. It's fine. But like, I also just like, I feel comfortable with who I am. Like I don't feel like the need to change my life and anything like that, or even like the desire to. Like I'm me. I am who I am. But that's the thing. It's like I can't imagine that, and that's what scares me. Is I'm like, I like to have those thoughts, to be like I don't feel comfortable with who I am, and that it would be a very long process to change. It would be a very difficult process. Socially, it would be a little bit of walking on eggshells in certain situations. That's horrific. Like, that's where I stand on it. I'm like, I cannot imagine going through something that hard. Which is why I have all the sympathy and the empathy in the world, because I'm like, what you're going through is harder than what I've gone through. And some people have a hard time admitting stuff like that, where it's like that someone might have a harder life than them. Having been the one who usually has the hardest life, it's crazy to me. I'm like, it's already been so hard for me. I can't imagine adding that on top of it. So, I don't know. I think I covered a couple different topics. I did kind of come into this video with a mild agenda. I did, because I thought about this in the shower. I was thinking about that conversation with my uncle again. I was thinking about the gay rights thing, where I was just thinking about how like it's changed so much just in my lifetime. And then I was thinking about how it's like gone to trans, and the whole crux of this entire thing that I've been talking about is, despite societal, what I will call regression, of like people just openly being like racist and just like using DEI as like a cover for like the N-word, because they're just like not creative. They just keep finding new ways to try to like call people like slurs, and it's like it was woke, it was DEI, all these things that are like meant to make people feel included are like tarnished by people using it like derisively or like derogatory. And I think that shit is some of the worst mental warfare I've ever seen. Like, it's fucking crazy that you take something positive and then turn it into like a negative thing to like call someone. Like, I think that's like the meanest thing you could do, and the most cruel thing I think you can do. But all of that to say, society moves forward. Whether one particular country, America, is like moving a little behind and maybe taking some steps backwards, eventually everyone takes steps forwards. And I think you just have to look at gay rights to think about that. It happened rapidly in my lifetime. I bet it'll happen again for trans. I bet 20 years from now, kids will grow up being like, oh, trans people couldn't do this in like 10 years ago? That's crazy. And I want people to believe in that, and I want people to help with that in any way you can. Strong buyer signature detected at Pallet Amazon, where the link was just restored. Go to Pallet Amazon and investigate it. The enemy might also be there also, so be careful. Oh, that's it, huh? Okay. No, like, random NPCs that are also going to tag along or say some peanut gallery stuff to me? Okay. Now, here's the other part. If this conversation made you uncomfortable because you're anti some of the things I was saying, we'll get to that in a second. All right, no, I'll finish it right now. If some of the things I said made you uncomfortable or like roll your eyes and were like, oh, woke bullshit. First of all, I don't know I don't know how you watch the rest of my videos, to be honest. But I think I don't want to like insult you, but I do genuinely, the theme of this episode is, why do you feel that way? What specifically that I said was incorrect or off base? And I think if you explain that, we can come to a better understanding. But I do think that my beliefs are very firm at this point, so please keep that in mind. Anyway, at any rate, keep your eye on Nightcrow. Who? During quests, we need to keep gathering info and find out what they're up to. Gather info, it doesn't mean fight. Yeah, they always attack us when they see us. Don't you think it's that attitude you guys have that caused Nightcrow who to target you? Kenpo, why are you defending Nightcrow who? You're not actually one of them, are you? What's that supposed to mean, Tonpei? How could you say that to me? Sorry. Tonpei, Cheetah, Kenpo, I want you to listen to me. Sorry, Gideon. What should we do when we get info about Nightcrow? Who? Should we inform Chief Glare? We should share information we gather among us first before we contact the Chief. You're right, it's probably best if we want to solve this incident together. Gao, good thing, I'm impressed. Fall in love with me? Jesus, that was abrupt. At any rate, just stay alert and don't do anything careless. Now go out and do your jobs. Understood. Understood. Roger. I feel like Gideon, his vibes are off. I don't know how to explain it. He's too helpful. Nick, do you have a minute? I've got, I don't know, like 10 more? Do you think Chief Glare and Afanimon are acting strange lately? What do you mean? Are they fighting with each other or something? they're fighting. If that's the case, I wonder if Funimon would be my partner. What are you talking about? How could you say that? Funimon would never change partners. Sorry, I'm just kidding. What's so strange about them? I can't really say exactly what. Sometimes something's just bothering me. I actually did say this. I think I said it in the last video where I'm like, it feels off. A lot of Funimon like staring at Chief Glare and like not really, like, and just not saying anything. Just my imagination. Sorry for bringing it up. Nick, Polsik, Machi, let's get back to the quest. But I also feel like this is Gideon like gaslighting. So I don't know. It's one of these two is bad, or both of them. I don't know. Either Chief Glare and Funimon are bad, or Gideon's bad, or both. But yeah, this Nightcrow situation's crazy because I have to imagine that they're fighting a similar battle on the other side, of both being like, wow, they must be up to no good. God forbid we like listen to them and figure out what their problems are and maybe come to an understanding together. That's crazy talk. We have to just keep fighting them. That's a way better way to handle this. I do genuinely wonder like how many eggs are cracked. I know we're going back to the first conversation, but I'm like, I wonder how many like people watch Digimon and it's like, why do I feel some weird way about this? This feels different. Why do I get all these? It's like butterflies when I watch this. And I think that's beautiful. I stand my series of evolving to become the best version of yourself. Truly, truly the best metaphors. So besides that, this is gonna be the hardest pivot I've ever made, but follow me here. Also, does Pokemon have pink eyes or purple eyes? He looks like he's got the virus from Digimon Tri. I need you to follow me on this one. So I've still been trying to chip away at Monster Hunter Wilds. I got 4 crowns yesterday, which is nice. I can cross off Arkveld, the Gyapa Doris, the one that like does flashbangs with it clicking the rocks in its head together. I finished that one. I finished Arkveld. I finished. I feel like I've done at least one more. There's another one I don't have to look for anymore, and I can't remember. I think it was the Hiburami, the floating like serpent ones. But I've crossed a couple monsters off the list, but I need to keep finding like the smallest and biggest monsters for everyone. There's like I think 54 total crowns that you need. I think maybe it might be 52. And I think I have at this point like 17, give or take. So I'm working through it, but it is very slow and kind of annoying, to be completely blunt, to have to just like run around the Monster Hunter Wilds maps, just like looking with my binoculars to see if a monster is big enough or not. It's kind of frustrating. One method I have kind of started doing, and this is a good method, but also I think it's chaotic neutral, or maybe even chaotic evil. I've been looking, like, I'm not at the point where I'm hunting specific monsters yet. I'm mostly just like picking random matches. Like when I play online, I'm just picking random lobbies just to join a match. I don't really care who's in it. Just hoping that maybe it'll be a crown. Oh, Gormagia. I think I finished the Gormagia as well. But I did realize that because it tells you how long a quest has been going, that if you pick some of the easier monsters, so like we'll pick like the cockatrice, or whatever the fuck it's called, the Camatrice, the giant chicken. I've realized that if I join those lobbies after like 5 minutes, then usually the monster, I'll get in right as the monster is being killed and then just get the credit for killing it without having to do anything. Now, to be clear, I still think like that this is not on me. That's not my fault. Like the fact that no one else joined this lobby before me is not my issue. Am I joining it because I'm trying to fight less? Yes. Is that my fault? No. Like I didn't make the lobby system. Like I'm hopping in a lobby, I'm like scrolling through pretty quickly and I see one that's been going for a little bit and I go to help them. You can't blame me for that. Like that's not. So the courage Diggy egg. Nice. Like I didn't. Listen, I'm still helping, or I'm trying to help. And listen, if they didn't kill it, I'm fighting my hardest. Ooh, Magidramon. If they don't kill them, then I'm gonna fight my hardest for them, and I'm gonna try and we're gonna win together. But you know, sometimes you just get a free kill, and I've gotten a couple crowns that way by just joining a match like as it's finishing, and it feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. It feels bad, just to say the least. So, but I'm gonna keep doing it because it's an easy way to get them. But I don't take pleasure in it. So just know that. Just know that just because I'm pulling one over on the system doesn't mean that you can put me on trial, because I've done nothing wrong ever in my life. So you have to reconcile with that before you say anything bad about me. What were we talking about? Anyway, but I'm getting a little tired of Monster Hunter because it's just a lot of like repetition of me just like running in circles or like just randomly joining lobbies. So I was taking a break with it. I kind of went through my installed games. I saw that I have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered installed, and I remembered I was working on a veteran playthrough. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it another college try, I guess. And first, the area I was in, I tried this a couple of weeks ago, I think. And the mission I'm on, I was like immediately getting killed, and I was like, oh right, veteran. This sucks. I forgot I hate playing on veteran. But I'm like 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way through the story. So I'm making good progress. What did I do? So I got through a couple missions. I just did All Gillied Up. That's like the best mission in Modern Warfare 4. It's or Modern Warfare 1, I guess. I don't know. The naming convention's weird at this point. But I got through the one where you're in your ghillie suit and you just like stealth and snipe the whole mission. That mission rocks. It's easily the best mission in that game. But I'm stuck on the mission after, because you basically have to escape after doing all that, and you have to fight waves and waves of enemies for I think like 3 or 4 minutes, with just you and one other guy who's like stuck in one position, and you like have to snipe, and that's it. And there's like no good spots. Like you're on level ground. You're not in like a clock tower or something. And it's rough. It's tough. It goes for so long. It's really hard. So I'm having a tough time. But I was briefly trying to do that. But I don't know. I think I might keep going through my list. It's Tuesday I have a week off, and it's Tuesday when I'm recording this. And I do feel like I should be playing more video games, because I'm like, I want to like finish at least one small game, or like maybe break into a couple games during this time, and I'm doing a bad job of it. My last vacation, which would have been in like November, I think I took off Thanksgiving week, because I don't really count the Christmas one, because I was a little busy. I didn't really get the rest and relaxation that I was hoping for because of the birthday streams. You keep learning skills, dude. Volcano Napalm. 2 times, and these two, I don't know, man. It could be good, but I'm not thrilled with it. Alright, whatever. But last time in November, I just played Fallout 4, and I like platinumed the game in like a week, but like I wasn't enjoying it. I was like, this is fine. Like it's you know, I don't regret playing it. But I was also like, man, I would love to be done with this. And I finished it, but I felt like I wasted a week. So I want to try to play multiple games. I think what I might do, I might just like set a timer for myself and just randomly start picking games and just seeing which ones I like or I can get into. Because I don't want to miss this opportunity of free time. And obviously I want to try and record some more videos too. But I don't really record videos at like 11 p.m. Like when I'm like getting ready for bed, you know, roughly at 3 a.m. 4 hours later. You know, it's just too much. But yeah. I've been I'm trying to chip away at stuff. I am kind of enjoying Call of Duty again. It's fun, but like only the single player. I would never play these games online. Fuck that shit. I don't want to deal with that at all. That's just not for me. The other thing I've been doing, and this is, I kind of don't feel as bad that I'm like not playing as many video games, because I am reading a lot of manga. And by a lot of manga, I mean I read 100 pages of Komi Can't Communicate yesterday. Or not 100 pages, sorry, 100 chapters. And you're like, Nick, how do you know it was 100 chapters? Well, because Viz and the Shonen Jump apps give you a 100 chapter per day limit. I've hit it, I would say, like 10 different times at this point in my life. I think I hit it for a couple different series. I hit it on a reread of Bleach. I hit it when I reread Chainsaw Man. I hit it when I was rereading One Piece a couple times. I hit it when I was reading through Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. I think I hit it like 3 times with Dragon Ball, just because it was the first time I was reading it. So I hit it occasionally. But it's kind of the sign that something is really vibing with me, and I'm really liking Komi Can't Communicate. It's a good time. I enjoy the various characters. It's a very the premise is that, and this is going to shock you, Comey can't communicate. I know, it's crazy. How else could you possibly know this? But the premise is that she has like severe social anxiety and stuff like that, and she's slowly getting better. But the setting is that they're in a school basically of main characters. But so like everyone is like a little bit fucking weird and like kind of has main character syndrome a little bit. Some of them like explicitly don't, but they all have like a trait or like an exaggerated trait or like quirk about them. Where it's like, it's hard to explain, but there's a lot of it. But it just means that there's a lot of like really good character work in that. And then like the second main character is painfully average. It's like average scores on tests, average performance, average everything. But it's still fun to watch. Or still fun to read. I did watch it before, but then there's only 2 seasons on Netflix at least. I don't know if there's more somewhere else. There's only 2 seasons, so I was like, well, I want to watch more, but you know, they haven't made more. So what do I do? So I just finished reading. I think the manga also just finished like 2 months ago, or maybe like a month ago, like very recently. So it feels like a good time to get into it. There's exactly 499 chapters on the Viz app, which I'm like, they really couldn't have pumped out one more for that 500. That's crazy. But it's getting good. I read a bunch today too. I think I've read like 70 chapters today already. It's like 3 p.m. I have a problem. But I left off at a really crazy point because I left off at the acknowledgement of a love triangle, and not only that, but like 6 different people who all knew that there was like a will they or won't they going on, all discovered the triangle at once. And I'm like, that's good writing. But then that was the last chapter I could read because I hit my limit. And I'm like, I left on a fucking cliffhanger. This sucks. I hate it here. I was texting my partner about it, and I was like, I can't believe I got hit the limit on this. This sucks. I hate it here. And she was like, you'll be okay. And I'm like, I know you're right, but it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Just kidding. It's not that serious. There's the key. Okay. Now, how do I get back? It might genuinely be in my best interest to just use a gate disk and then just come back this way, I think. But yeah, so I've been reading that. So I'm like, it's not like I'm not like wasting my time or anything like that. And in my head, and this is a broken part about my brain, I feel like if I'm not achieving something tangible, then I have wasted my time. So that can work in a lot of ways. So like if I'm reading through something, or I'm like, well, I didn't waste my time, I was reading something, and I only read some, usually just read something once. So it's, especially if it's like the first, sometimes I'll reread things, but like it's the first time, I'm like, well, I'm gaining new information, I'm reading something new, therefore this is fine. And it's similar with video games, where I'm like, well, have I played this video game before? No. Am I getting progress in it? Yes. Okay, then it's fine. Have I beaten the game? Yes. Do I still want to play the game? Yes. Okay. Have I gotten the platinum for it yet? No. All right, then trophy hunts it is. And if I count it as trophy hunting, then it counts as productivity, and then it's fine, and I'm allowed to do it. The only again, this is all self-inflicted. Like I'm telling myself that I can't play the games and stuff like that. This is partially why I don't really like live servicey games, or even not even live service, just multiplayer games in general, where it's like, all right, go do your like daily quests or whatever here, and we'll and then come back or do your daily quest for the day, which is repeating the same content you've already done for like a month or a couple weeks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that though. So, but it's in my head, it's allowed if it's towards a platinum trophy, which is why I trophy hunt so much, because it's a brain worm. But then again, YouTube counts in a similar way, where I'm like, well, I've already played this game, and I don't really know if I want to replay it. But I'm like, oh, I could play it for YouTube, then that would be fine. Like, I want to replay Final Fantasy X. But I'm like, I don't know, that's a long RPG. My current thing I'm telling myself is, because I worked through the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, like I've platinumed the first 4, I haven't started 5 yet, but I'm like, I should do 5, then 6, then I should play the original 7, then 8, then 9. Then I will have earned the right to replay Final Fantasy X. Unless we hit a loophole, which is they re-released it for PS5 with a new trophy list, and then I get to play it again. Or if they release a remake, and then I get to play it again. But like these are stipulations. Like to get to these, I have to do the other things first. So, or I can just play for YouTube, and if people watch on YouTube, then it's fine. But this is the psychosis that I have to currently go through right now. So, you know, I'm a fair and normal person. I think my brain definitely isn't broken at all. But you know, if you said it was, I would understand. What was I talking about with this? Oh yeah, but I want to try a couple new games because I just want to, like, I have a bunch of games installed on my PlayStation and I want to just like break into some of them or like finish some of them. Like some of them are games I started and then didn't finish. So I would like to get more productive over this break. Like if I tell myself like, oh, I got 2 platinums over my vacation, the vacation's a success. It's a rousing success even. People will talk for years about how successful this vacation was. Or if I record a lot of videos, I'm like, all right, well, I built up the backlog, so that's fine too. It's like but I can't just like, as annoying as it is, I can't just be like, oh, what if I just like sat on my couch and watched YouTube and just kind of doom scrolled? That doesn't count. Doom scrolling is not productive. Not allowed. That is not a loophole. I do it anyway though, a lot. So, you know. And I also talked about I don't like live service games, and yet I do play a couple different mobile games, and the difference is that I usually play those in smaller bursts, or like I'll play them like, you know, in the bathroom or traveling or something. And I'm like, that's fine. That doesn't count. That's different. So like my rules are flexible, but they are rules. So I have to abide by them. I think I might definitely have a couple neurotic disorders, but it's fine. I'm collecting them like platinums. I really thought that the map design here would get easier after I unlocked that door, but I don't think that's the case. I'm also not even sure I went by the area that I unlocked, which is also annoying. Can I say something? I might swap out Chronomon from the team. Temporarily. I think I'll bring them back for the boss fight. But for fighting normal Digimon, I just don't think it's as effective. I think they take too much MP, and they have too much, and their stats are kind of like falling off. So I think we put Rex back out front. I think Rex is our strongest Digimon, with Emmy falling behind, and then Carlos would be the third. So I'll keep working on this. I don't want this now. Okay. I did write notes because I'm struggling now. I'm not struggling. Okay, I did go the right way. I talked about all this. Yes. Oh, okay. We're gonna go back to. Wait. No, I got a good one. I want to bring up something lighthearted. I'm a big Muppet enjoyer. The Muppets, I'm a big fan of. I think they have a very robust and storied history and very good quality content. But recently, I think the Muppets are in a bit of a, I wouldn't say downward spiral, but I don't know what's better than that. I think they've been, that's a good way to say this, not bad, but not particularly great for a while. I would say the most recent like good Muppet thing was Muppets Mayhem, which like did like a behind the scenes documentary on, or like almost sitcom-y style thing about the Electric Mayhem, which is the band from the Muppets, and I thought that was very good. But it's also like was focusing on side characters instead of like the main ones. So I was like, you know, could be better maybe, but I guess it's fine. And then before that was Muppet Mansion, but I didn't even finish it. I was just like, I just wasn't into it. Muppets Now, which was the series they did in COVID, I actually think was good. I think it was underrated. And then I'm trying to think what else they've done somewhat recently. They've been doing a lot of like guest appearances and stuff like that, but not really doing their own shit. I know that the voice actor and puppeteer for Kermit essentially got let go. It was Steve Whitmire. He had his contract negotiation come up, and he like, I guess he rejected the first one they offered, which like, he rejected the first contract they offered, which is apparently just like standard contract negotiation. I've never negotiated a contract, so I can't say. But apparently that's pretty standard. It's like you reject the first one because like you can just do like better, even if it's like a small better, but it's like, it's just part of the job. It's like you reject the first one and then you move on. But apparently he rejected the first one, and they were like, okay, we're not going to send another one. To which he was like, wait, what? Like, huh? That's not how this works. What do you mean? Like, what? And they let him go. Now, more context to that is I believe that there were some stories that he was kind of difficult to work with. So Steve Whitmire was the voice of Kermit and a couple other characters. He's been doing them since like the 90s era of Muppets. He was the one who replaced Jim Henson for Kermit. Because there's only been 3 Kermits, I think, so far. But the big problem was that, or one of the big problems I remember reading, and people can correct me on this if you want, because I read this information a couple years ago, so it may not be like up to date, is that he wasn't really good at passing on his knowledge. And what I mean by that is typically it was for the other characters, at least, not just for Kermit. The procedure was that you would train up an understudy, and they would do like, so that like that way you had someone else if you weren't available, and they would use that for like events and stuff where it's like, why did I unlock this gate? There's nothing here. Like, there's no other paths from here. What the fuck was the point of the gate? I don't understand. I'm going crazy. Like, why did I bother unlocking that? Did I go the wrong way? Anyway, but I guess he didn't take an understudy. So like, if they wanted the Muppets to appear like a parade or something, and he wasn't around or he didn't go, then they just wouldn't be able to have Kermit talk. And so like, it was typical practice to have like an understudy. So like, it wouldn't have to be like, you know, main event stuff, but it would be, there was someone there who, if like, so that way you could do like the smaller appearances, you could get some tests and some practice and stuff like that. I'm just like looking around if it's like a hidden path I missed or something. But he didn't really do that, and he didn't really like train an understudy, and like, so like he like missed stuff pretty frequently. I don't know if this is true. This is just something I read. I have not verified it, so please, if I'm wrong, correct me. So he was a little bit difficult to work with. It kind of seemed like he was a little bit like, I'm fucking Kermit. What are you going to do without me? And then they were like, we're going to do this without you. And he was like, wait, what? Huh? I don't know if that's the whole story. I mean, I'm sure a part of it is also just like the Disneyfication, where it's like, you know, Disney came in with the Muppets and was like, I don't know if you want. It's because like the Muppets were never like biting social commentary. They were never like, you know, they were a little bit adult in like the 70s. Back when I think the original pitch for the Muppets was like Sex, Violence, and Puppets or something like that is what it was called. By the same people, might I add. It was still by like Jim Henson and stuff, but they eventually marketed it as like more friendly. But I think, I don't know, maybe Disney's just like a little more careful with the IP than they need to be. So they haven't really produced a lot. All of that to say, and I did have a point to this. I think Muppet parody is like original Muppet content, great. Like a version of the Muppet Show or like a Muppet movie original, like Muppets from Space, great. A Muppet spin on classics or big things, even better. To the point where I'm like, it's a little crazy. We have not gotten a Muppet Star Wars. Star Wars has been around since the 70s. Muppets have been around since the 70s. It's crazy Family Guy got a Muppet, or got not Muppet. It's crazy that Family Guy got a Star Wars spin-off before the Muppets, is all I'm trying to say. I think you could do Muppet Star Wars. It'd be pretty easy. But I think it's almost at this point not good for the sake of like, I would say that the Star Wars IP is not at the popularity that it is, it's not at its height, we'll say. I don't know if it's still popular or not. I don't have metrics. I don't have any numbers. I have nothing to base this off of. But from just vibes, which is the best way to measure these things, it doesn't feel like Star Wars is doing the best it's ever done. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say if the current stuff is bad. I'm not going to say if it's ever been bad or worse. I'm not going to say if it was easier to make movies in the 70s. It was. Not from like a production standpoint, but from like people would really slurp up anything you sent them in the 70s. So like, you know, the bars were a lot different. But anyway, so like maybe it wouldn't be the best time for that. But do you know what I think it could be a good time for? Muppet Avengers. Now, I don't think I'm the first person to suggest this. It's not a very like crazy concept. I think the more popular one is people would be like, you should do Muppet Knives Out, which I think it would also be very good. Making a Knives Out like lore Muppet featuring all the Muppets and like just Daniel Craig playing Benoit Blanc. That's great. That's gold. They should greenlight that. I agree. But if they didn't even want to do that and they wanted to stay like a little bit more family friendly, they could do the Avengers and they could do some like biting commentary on it. Some like a lot of like meta jokes, because that shit kills. Meta jokes are like better than they've ever been. And as a meta joke enjoyer, I think I'm eating good, but I'm also like, not everyone needs to do it, guys. You can come up with different jokes. Anyway, here's my pitch, because obviously you're gonna be like, Nick, if you're gonna do Muppet Avengers, who would be who? And I'm like, first of all, excellent question. You're on the right track. You are right. You're asking the right questions. Like if you were just like, I don't know, Nick, how would it work? Then yeah, I can't bring you to my level to get here. But if you're like, who's gonna be who? Now we can have a conversation. So it's gonna be this casting is gonna be a little bit, how do I say this, controversial, but I think you need to follow me here. I think you make Gonzo Iron Man. Do I think Gonzo is a good Tony Stark? No. Do I think that's funnier? Yes. I think Gonzo pretending to be a playboy, very good content. I think Gonzo being in the suit, and you have to follow the visual here. For those who don't know, Gonzo's the blue one with the hooked nose. You need to imagine him not making a helmet, an Iron Man helmet, to fit his nose. That's not how Gonzo works. What would happen is he would make the normal Iron Man nose, he would flip the cover down, and it would like make an imprint of his nose, and he would go, ow, because he didn't plan for it. That's Gonzo. That's Muppets, baby. So that's where we're starting. And then you would have Rizzo voice Jarvis. That's easy. Like, it'd be very funny to have a New York rat as Jarvis. It's like, hey, Gonzo, I think you should pay attention, because I think there's guys coming at you. Oh my God, you should watch out. Instead of just like, sir, I believe that there's someone like, it's just funnier. So Gonzo is Iron Man. I'm locked in. Gonzo Iron Man, Rizzo Jarvis. This is non-negotiable. Here's some other ones I'm not really sure. I think Fozzie could be Hawkeye. I'm not married to it, but I think it would work, because he's kind of the joke of the Muppets, just like Hawkeye is kind of the joke. So I feel like it fits. And you could make some good bits of him just like accidentally firing at someone. It'd be a good job. I think Kermit has to be Captain America. I don't think he would be a good Captain America in battle, but I think he would be a great Captain America as the leader of the Avengers. I think he would nail that part. And I think that's the most important part of Captain America. So I think that's the part that makes the most sense. Who else? I think I wrote down most of this. Okay, I do think you do need Samuel L. Jackson to continue to be Nick Fury. I think that's very important, because I don't think I think you need Samuel L. Jackson, and I want him to say motherfucker. And I want him to say it, or like be about to say it, and have the Muppets be like, it's only PG-13. Oh, you can't say that it's only PG-13. You need that. It's funny. It's good content. So the only other casting I've really locked down is, I think you also still have Scarlett Johansson play Black Widow, and you're gonna follow me here, but the whole joke is that Piggy thinks she's playing Black Widow, so she keeps saying her lines as well, and it's like a whole thing of like, there's like, that's, you know, she's not the character, and she keeps reading the same lines and stuff like that to culminate. And the bit has to go somewhere. Like, that can't just be the bit by itself, and it's not. So the culmination of this is conspicuously, you're gonna start to realize that there's no Hulk or Bruce Banner. Nobody's reading any of their lines, and it's just like parts where he would have talked. Nobody's saying anything. You get to the scene where the Hulk first transforms in the movie, but instead of like Bruce Banner just like getting angry, it's Piggy realizing she was cast to play the Hulk and getting angry about it and like turning into like an angry piggified Hulk, and that's where we do it. And I think there's a lot you can do from there. I just think that there's so much content there. I think you could. I don't really like Pepe the shrimp. I don't think he's like my favorite character, but he is like apparently popular. So I think you have him play Thor as a let's go, baby. What are we doing over here? It's me, Pepe. And it's like, but I think that'd be a funny Thor because you could just like easily have Piggy like launch him across like leagues and fields and stuff like that, and it would be funny. I'm not married to any of the other castings. Those are the main ones. I don't think I've forgotten any Avengers. I might have. There's a lot of them. I probably forgot some, but I think it's a solid idea. I think someone should write the screenplay. I don't want to do it, but someone should. The idea is free. Just make it. I don't care. I don't want credit. Darn, we had you and you bring reinforcements. That's not fair. Yeah, what now? My Digimon is already pretty weak and we're almost out of items. Yeah, we can't let Spinomon escape. Haha, if you want a piece of me, you have to play smarter. Nick, good timing. We need your help. What are you? You want a piece of me too? You're a feisty one. Fugumon, get him. I meant to change Chronomon out. Also, wait. He brought Fugumon here? Fugumon was randomized as one of the Digimon here? That seems crazy. How do I... There we go, okay. Let's swap you out. Okay. Okay, so I'm still gonna go. That's good. We can do... Oh, this is perfect. I can do Volcano Napalm. Love to see it. Hell yeah. I underestimated you. You're not just talking like those other two. What's that supposed to mean? Don't you see the two of you are no match for me? Well, in that case, I'll take you on, but under the circumstances, I don't think I can. Sorry, Nick, you'll have to handle this. Is everyone on my team useless besides me? Nick, you better not lose. If you do, I want you to buy me a new farm island. Yeah, I want a custom one that has an expandable terrain board and BGM board. Oh, like mine? Spinomon, you're going to regret this. Nick's not like one of those typical tamers. That's right, you're no match against Nick. You should just surrender now. You say, in that case, show me some proof. Didn't they, like, say I was shit last time? I feel like the writing on this is kind of bad in the sense that seemingly everyone besides me just loses all the time. I'm like, you have to have someone else make some wins at some point. Like, you can't write like this. All right, let's see how much this does. Okay, big damage. All right, this should be a kill, right? Like, okay, big damage though. So I think, ooh, you learned Laser Blade. I think some of my attacks are starting to fall off a little bit for Chronomon and Shine Greymon. Their stats are just lagging behind a little bit, but their techniques themselves are still really strong. So I just need to get their stats up. Supposedly, this is what D&Age Evolution helps with, but... Oh, I forgot to follow up on that. No one else knows how D&Age Evolution works either, is what I've learned. The video has been... I think the video came out today, so it's only been live for like 5 hours at this point. But so far, nobody has explained anything to me. I understand how to get specific Digimon. Like, I understand that Stingmon and XBmon lead to Pyogemon. I get that. But it's like the other ones, like more freeform ones that I don't understand. Oh, this is too much. Had enough? So you must have some sort of device that spreads a mysterious virus, don't you? Mysterious virus? What's that? Are you talking about this thing that Warrior Siegemon asked me to make? Take it if you want. MD word. Okay. I don't know what you'll use it for. Who knows what the Union's thinking. Darn, I can't believe I lost. I gotta go back and train. Where'd he go? Do you go back to Shine Plaza? You did it, Nick. Good job. Nick, you look so cool. I was cooler, right? Don't fall in love with me. Oh my god, dude. Stop joking around. Let's go inform Chief Glare. Just two losers being like, who's the bigger loser? Oh man, I really thought this video would be shorter, but then I got lost in the fucking jungle again. Why'd I get lost? You know why. It's going to be an old favorite here. Because the level design is bad. Like, it's not even like... It's not even like, oh, you know, maybe they just wanted to... It's bad. It's intentionally confusing. They made it labyrinthian so you'd be stuck in there for longer. It's to make the game feel longer than it is. Like, it's not good. All three of you did well since we were able to get the MD word. We were able to restore Shine S area. Ooh, you worked hard. We didn't get any leads in the enemy. Appears the one that was making Spider-Man create MD word is Where's Digimon, but who was asking Where's Digimon to create MD word? Still a mystery. Right, but if you keep investigating, I'm sure we'll find out who the enemy is. Keep it the good work. Dismissed. I almost forgot. Don't forget to get your reward at Shine Center. I would never. Roger. Understood. Why did they get a reward? They didn't do shit. I'm getting so mad. Everyone in this fucking Tamer Union sucks except me. Which is usually the hallmark of someone actually being shit themselves. Where if you're like, everyone here sucks except me, usually that means you're an asshole a little bit. But I think it's justified here. Or I'm an asshole. It could be both. But like also, like no one else is winning, so I do feel emboldened. Alright, I haven't gotten one from you in a while. Macro Battle Tourney. Talk to a Digimon and Shine office. Okay. I'm just gonna grab it so I like know I have something to do next time, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, I know we got into some heavy stuff here, but just so it's made abundantly clear, I will not have hateful comments or rhetoric in my comments. So if like this is the video that makes you think about writing that, you probably already written it at this point, to be honest. I'm just going to delete it. I'm not going to reply to you. It's going to be gone, and I'll probably shadow ban you from the channel. So, like, choose your words carefully and wisely. If your result is just, like, to spew hatred or slurs and stuff like that, get the fuck out of here. I'm not handling that stuff. We're trans-friendly here. We're LGBTQ plus friendly here. I will not have you insult my friends. So, thank you, everyone. Don't forget to like the video, comments, etc., and I'll see you in the next part. Bye-bye.